my friends stand by me only if I'm right. I come out of triple darkness just to see the light. If I say it once, I guarantee I say it twice. If they want me, I ain't going out without a fight. In my dreams, I'm a killer, but for God, man. Try to play it cool, but it's getting hard, man. Rolling with the real and deaf to all the frauds, man. Not too many on me, yeah, it's kinda hard, man. In my room, sitting in my room. Know they waiting on me and I'm coming soon. Never been a sellout, never been a coon. Y'all be on the camera acting, I'ma show them how I true it.
You think gospel music has the influence on your spirit that it does, and we know it does. How come that other music ain't corrupting your spirit? It's the same thing.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Let's talk. Hey, what is going on? What is going on in what we call black culture right now? A few weeks ago, I think it was when we were in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
People started calling us saying, "Hey, are y'all gonna be on TV? What were you talking about? The Freaknik video just came out on Hulu." Hey, listen. True story. So when the Freaknik video came out, my family called me because RIP to one of my wife's closest friends, beautiful soul. Back then when we were in college and out of college.
Uh-huh.
But this beautiful soul happened to end up on the Freaknik video, which was hilarious because as soon as they turned it on, they're like, "Oh my God, there she is in a car saying, hey," repping her college or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of people our age and a little older that was afraid for that video to come out, the Freaknik video.
That's wild.
And for those of you who don't know, Freaknik was how long was the run?
In the 80s?
A few years in a row consecutively, right?
15 years maybe?
Yeah.
Like
Into
80,
the 90s.
83
They
to
stopped
said
and came
80s.
back for a
The
minute.
biggest black spring break, if you will, outside of spring break in the world.
yeah.
Rampant parties, rampant alcohol, a lot of drugs, a lot of sex, and ultimately what we're learning now, a lot of sexual assault as well, right? And so there's a lot of people that don't want that video out, that don't want that past remembered, yet it's controversial, right? I want to square it with what's going on in the hip-hop community because P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, founder of Bad Boy, is under lawsuits and allegations about sex trafficking young artists. As recently as last year, there's a young man, I think his name is Little Rod, accused Diddy of coercing him around sexual behaviors. There's rumors that he's had sex with major people in the industry.
Dang.
I'm talking all rumors and allegations.
Right.
Some of it filed with court affidavits and records. Some lawsuits settled. But the whole point is, there's this whole conversation about sex culture and hip hop and Freaknik and the implications of it and what it means. And a lot of people are having these conversations now about, did Freaknik sort of launch us into this culture along with hip hop of liberal sex, dangerous sex, and lack of accountability as it relates to teenagers and young adults partying?
Man, I mean, you covered a lot in that.
Yeah, it was a lot.
You covered a lot in that. Let's give a little historical context in terms of what Freaknik was. Freaknik was, an event that was organized and planned by the students in Atlanta because a large number of students did not leave campus for spring break.
Okay.
So they were like, hey, let's just have a picnic for the students that stay here. That was the original premise and the original idea of the concept. I don't know, 1983, 84, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became to grow and become a cultural phenomenon. And just like anything else, it's great, pure intentions. A lot of things start out with good intentions and they're pure. But then as you start to, it starts to attract other people who come with different agendas. And as a result of that, it can go into some of the more seedier, debaucherous stuff that, can then become it can color the entire situation and becomes the premise for them to eliminate a thing, you know? And so that's to kind of talk about it in an overall nutshell. It was this great thing organized for students, picnic time, you know, during spring break time, and then a whole lot of folks start to come and, you know, what we say, ruin the experience.
But see, that's what I want to talk about is that whole ruin the experience of what's a normal college thing, right? Because it wasn't just Freaknik. There was the Greek Fest back then that happened over Labor Day weekend at Virginia Beach.
I was at that
right?
one too.
You was at that one too.
Yeah, I was at that one too.
Right? There was the Greek picnic that used to happen up in Philly around the same time period. There were many things going on, but that's why I brought up the Diddy thing, because in the documentary, what they're saying is it wasn't until the 2 Live crew got involved that it turned. That's what they're saying. I'm not saying that. But that's when they got the sexual, it got raunchy, raw, do whatever you want to do, right? And so, but that's my thing is, because what came with hip hop during that time was money that young people never had.
Yeah.
It was clout, it was money, the stars were there. And so it became more than just a thing of students. It became like now, you get the CIAA tournament, right?
Yeah.
What happens when it becomes just a great HBCU basketball tournament? Oh, the celebrities got to be there.
Yeah, right.
You got to have the concerts, the parties.
It becomes the event.
That
folks want to be a part of. Well, you know, let me say, let's start off with this. Not all of us went to Freaknik.
Right.
All right.
We didn't?
Yeah.
I didn't go.
I was down. We were down there. Now it's not that we went because it was there.
I went. James better not been at Freaknik.
It was.
Yeah. He should have been at FOI class.
That's the thing.
If he was at Freaknik.
That's the thing. It came to you.
You couldn't help it. That's what
we were cutting.
Oh yeah, brother. I couldn't help it. It came to me.
We was cutting. I was cutting hair at a barbershop. We was on MLK and Ashby. It was then.
Okay.
But the MLK part is where that shop was, and it came down through there. And our shop was right there, so you couldn't help but see all of the madness, bro.
Yeah.
And it was just
Did y'all let anybody use the bathroom?
Depending on how she looked, but that's
funny.
So we would come out the shop.
But
and just,
describe that. What did you
like,
see
wow.
when y'all? What would y'all see?
just shaking our head, brother. Just twerking. We call it. Well, I don't know what
It
we
wasn't called that
What
back
did we
then.
call
right?
it?
We
back
didn't call
then?
it
We
twerking
just
then.
called it ass shaking back then.
Just shake your rump.
Yeah.
But
Rump
anyway,
shaker, rump
they was
shaker.
just doing that all of that sort of, man. But I guess, and I haven't even seen the thing on Hulu or whatever to see some of the footage. But I'm sure, you know, we saw whatever they may have shown on the documentary. Just people just being really debaucherous. And
JG, I know you were a resident of Atlanta during the time.
Ourselves, freaks, if you will.
And we were 20, 21.
Okay,
Yep.
you want to make sure
22,
people
yeah.
know that.
19,
though.
19,
Early
20,
20s, early
19,
20s,
20,
yeah.
21.
Right at that time. So
Yeah,
we
19,
were
20, 21.
the appropriate age. And going back to what you're saying, though, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That ain't nothing new under the sun,
Yeah,
right? So
right.
that
Woodstock.
was in the 60s.
Woodstock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's been a thing. So it didn't start with Freaknik. It didn't start with Loop. You know
Didn't
what I
start
mean?
with hip hop.
Yeah, right. It didn't
Because
start
they
with
had
hip-hop.
Woodstock, and I'm sure same things going on at Freaknik was going on at Woodstock.
Except
Exactly.
one thing.
What's that?
Them people at Woodstock didn't bring their 9mm and all that stuff with them.
It was about peace, man, and love.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why
We
I
might
said
have had 'em
that's
there
what I'm
and used
saying
it.
about
Yeah.
hip hop.
right
Yeah.
about us. Yeah.
And so, but the other thing too was that is the drug culture, right? At that time, was
Height of the crack era.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the other thing that combined with that. But man, it was phenomenal. I mean, being
Boy, I like with the enthusiasm and energy you said that with.
Hey, because I think it was our Woodstock, right?
Yeah.
Except for we wasn't there in the 80s or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So however many years it lasted, but we were there. And especially Atlanta was booming at that time.
Yeah.
92,
well.
93, 94.
Yeah, that's the boom.
Right,
In my mind, when Atlanta was blowing up. And so, man, like you say, the park completely full. In the middle of the street, 3, 4 in the morning, block. You couldn't make it up.
Right. It
You
was
couldn't make
the
that up.
world's longest car show. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Wow.
having a ball. And it was some foolishness going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But man, we had a good time, man, and
That's all you do.
You look like you're reminiscing and you're holding back over there.
Real quick
You
before I get too far away from
and
what he
hold him
said, that it's not new under the sun, that sort of thing. And I didn't realize this, and I'm not sure how authentic it is. But I was at I saw a reel from my dude. It's D-Lie, it's D-Lie or whatever his name, how it's pronounced. And it was I guess the photo of the single back in the 70s. I looked like Pound Town or whatever, and I'm thinking that was the controversy with what's her name, Sexy Red.
Yeah,
all of that with the booty hole and brown and all that. That's from an old joint back in the 70s called Pound Town or whatever, and I didn't realize that until I saw that. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? It's
they
like
got you too,
a
bro.
remake. What happened? Well, no.
Can you tell them about your artificial
It
intelligence?
was AI, bro. It was AI.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Yeah.
So you
I
saying
went
somebody
to my
did
son
that?
and said the same thing. He said, "Dad,
Oh,
you
my.
know you would have heard that song before all the songs you'd have heard." I mean, but yeah.
Oh, it's
Oh,
AI.
wow.
That's-
Yeah, bro, it's crazy, man.
Oh, they made it seem like
Yeah, yes.
So that's why I was like, I did my disclaimer. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm not sure
yeah.
how authentic that joint was.
God,
man.
man.
But
Well,
to
me
that
thinking-
point,
Oh, okay.
they did have those Marvin C songs.
That's
and
funny,
all
though.
that stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
you're
was
right.
more blues was a nasty thing. You know what I'm saying? If you ever
Blues
get
is
your-
nasty.
The blues
Oh, yeah,
is
yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a more of a bluesy type stuff, more so than
If he's
hip-hop.
stroking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that was Howlin' Wolf and all them guys.
People
But,
been nasty forever. We
Right.
all that's what we basically
Right.
said. We
Yeah.
get it.
But you know what? At that time period, though, it was separate from the adults and the kids. You don't need to hear this boy going and get grown folks.
Oh,
in
right,
here.
right,
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean? So
right,
now
right.
this generation has grown up with Luke and NWA and all the vulgar lyrics and that sort of thing. But back in the day,
No. You grew up with
that's
that.
what we grew up
well,
with.
it hit us.
They
as
grew up with
teenagers.
Wayne and Drake and
Right. Yeah, it
Right.
hit us as
They're
teenagers.
saying we got to update our rap references.
Yeah. Who said
that man
that?
said they growing up listening
I need
to
to
Luke.
update y'all rap references.
Hey,
I'm talking about
listen.
when the
Hey,
first.
let me tell y'all something. My nephew was a 9th grader in high school, and not sooner than 2 or 3 months ago, told my son he didn't know that Jay-Z rapped.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Say what?
Wow. Hold on.
That's crazy.
really?
Oh.
And
you
did
think
he
a
used to
businessman?
rap? They don't know, man. Listen,
Wow.
That's
he's
wild.
15, bro. 14.
That's wild.
Wow.
What's
Yeah.
14?
Yeah.
Right.
So he was born when? 2000.
2010.
2000. The year
2010.
2000. Oh,
Right?
2010.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
shoot.
yeah,
I'm saying
yeah.
this.
Oh,
I'm
Jay-Z
making it-
was
I'm about
with
to four.
Hey, yo,
Say 2000.
Jay-Z
Oh, my
came
God,
out. That's
that's-
his last album
Oh,
when he
my
was
God.
8.
Right.
I mean, you see. I mean, that's the
Right.
point.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
when you listen to him tell you what he listens to, man, you would be like a foreigner, bro. I'm serious. Like it used to be with my kids. I'd be like, okay, I hear. I don't even know somebody that's like 13 now. You would not know the names of anybody they listen to. You wouldn't know nothing.
No.
You know what I'm
No.
saying?
My Freaknik experience. Oh my god! No, that's what.
Yeah.
Now,
That's why he never left Atlanta.
He's still there.
That's
Man,
when you gonna plant the flag.
you know,
This is
it was
I ain't leaving.
Yeah, I ain't coming home.
it was a big party without the beach, right?
Uh-huh.
And man, and the thing, man, you seen the young ladies, they got their bathing suits on,
Right.
they on top of the cars, and they, they in the moment, and they letting boys be foolish. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Mhm.
And
You
it's
gotta
getting
say
out of
not
hand.
all of
Not all of
them.
them,
Yeah, you
right?
gotta make that clear.
Not all of them, right? And so the things that was going on was just extremely wild, and it's going on for all day long, and the traffic is out of control. The traffic is, hours and hours long, and
the street was a parking lot.
yeah, exactly. And you couldn't go nowhere, and people just, basically the cars parked and people outside blasting out music and dancing on top of the car in the streets. You don't even know people. It's just total strangers, and you have.
Was it a lot of sex?
I didn't see any.
But you can imagine based on what you saw happen.
but you heard a lot of people who had babies in that time. You know?
I'd say it was a sexually charged environment.
Absolutely.
Sexually charged
Yeah,
environment.
that's how I would characterize it. I remember when when the documentary first came out, my roommate called me. Shout out Levon. He called me. He was like, "Man, I seen you in that Freaknik video." I said, "Man, you go ahead, man. You ain't see me." And when I watched it, I did see a dude I thought looked like me, but just walking by in one of the scenes, I was like, "Oh no, that." But I ain't like study it to see if it was, but it did look like me.
That's
Yeah, and so for us, I just remember the anticipation and the excitement, and for a lot of us, man, you know, going down and seeing. We from Charlottesville, Virginia. I ain't never seen that many black people before in my life.
Thousands and thousands.
You know,
Age.
yeah, I've never seen that many young black people before in my life. So the cultural shock, like we black, but it was still a cultural shock for us because of where we from.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and so that was just, I was immediately drawn to the environment for that alone. You know what I mean? Now, obviously you get there, and you couldn't even have an event like that now just because I had a camera with me, right?
Hey, one of these Jones.
Yeah, one of them Jones, right?
Yeah.
By the way,
battery lasts.
By the way,
17 minutes.
I still got my Freaknik video at the house.
I'm trying to.
Why did you contribute to the footage, brother? God dog
Hey,
it,
man.
when he was calling for that.
My footage a little grainy, so you know.
Hey,
it was old.
I told
You
him,
would have been rejected anyway, huh?
That sound like a rookie right there, man. I told him they are experts.
They can clean it
They
up.
clean that video up, man. Get you $1 million real quick, bro. You know, Tubi.
I ain't.
Put it on Tubi.
I ain't want to pull it out.
Good idea, bro.
You must got some people you know on it.
I know a lot of people I know.
That's what my wife said.
Get them to
Are
sign
you
an
gonna
NDA.
be?
No.
My son and wife asked me. They say, "Are you gonna be? Are we gonna see you on the video?" I said, "Well, if you see me, just know I was being foolish, like that, right? You know what I mean? Like I was doing something silly, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dancing. You know, I always loved dancing, so you know that's just was a part of me. You know what I mean?
But
And you know what you tell people? Say, that was during that time when God had me acting out so he could work on me.
Yeah. Polish me up, right? So I could be
working
good,
on me.
good for the master's use.
Hey, I can't believe you ain't flipping like me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna see you on the jump.
Yeah.
You ain't flipping like that.
I probably did. She said, I wasn't doing nothing. I was driving and sitting in the back seat.
Trying to get through the traffic.
Yeah.
But like you said, man, when you mentioned the AI, the technology, obviously everywhere there's a camera, right? And so we didn't come up during that time. And so if somebody had a camera, you knew it was a camera because it wasn't no handheld. That jump was on your shoulder. You know what I mean?
That was the
Yeah.
point I was about to make.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't even have an event like that and where it would go that way again because everybody got their phone out.
There was a lot of sex. Daytime, broad daylight, you know, in the park. Sometimes you see a group of fellows around. He be like, "What's happening over there?" One old lady yelling, "Stop! No, stop!"
Wow.
Just
That's
go-
the
going
that's
at
the
it,
that's
you know
the
what I mean?
real thing about what people are talking about.
Yeah,
It was
Yeah, I got some of that on tape.
yeah,
Word.
gang,
Yeah.
group sex.
Wow.
yeah,
Group sex, and then it's some women saying they were raped down there.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can imagine that if it was alcohol and liquor and free reign
It's a bad environment.
and limited.
But man,
So
in my experience too, though, it wasn't. For my time, we party, but I do not remember a whole lot of fighting.
you don't remember a lot of violence?
No,
Nah,
No,
yeah.
I-
zero.
Yeah.
Now that's
We-
unique.
I'm not saying it didn't happen, but
Yeah,
right.
right.
I ain't
Relative
see-
to the proportionality of the
I didn't see.
size of the
I didn't
party.
see.
And we in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
in the city where
Right.
you hear that type of
I
crime
didn't see a
going on.
lick of violence.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or none of
Now,
that.
that's what's unusual.
Everybody was having a good time, bro.
Right.
You
Now,
know,
that's what's
from my perspective.
unusual, and during that time period where, you know, like we said, guns and crime was at the apex of the crack era and all that. But it's just people. That's it. So implication wise, what do y'all think about people now that's saying, "Hey, man, why are they putting people out there?" There's a lot of powerful black professionals out there. I know there was one sister who's a wife of a very prominent mega church pastor. Like people was like she on videos. She was suing to try to get stuff not released. What do y'all think about that part of people saying, hey, why are y'all putting that stuff out there? And then two, we sitting there and sort of enjoyed to package it up for people and told them what it was and how wild it was. What's the implication of it now when we look at, because I think the thing Joaquin pointed out early was, it was probably our first time at this brash cultural expression of black people that large of a scale. And the first time when we didn't care, or women might not have cared if somebody saw them outside doing whatever. Men didn't care if I'm messing with a sister right in the street for everybody and putting our shame out, what we call in front of everybody. But now it's a norm. So did Freaknik, was it a sign? I'm not saying it started it, but was it a sign of where we were headed as a people to the point now where there is no shame? It's Freaknik everywhere.
Right. In the music, in the excuse me, so-called culture of hip hop or whatever. Yes. It's unfortunate. I hate, because even then, during the Freaknik time, of course, with my mindset being that of a Muslim and, FOI, as you mentioned, and everything, was, why do our people have to be the ones that are looking so savage and being just so uncivilized? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Fitting the narrative that the Caucasian was trying to paint or put on us anyway,
Mm-hmm.
for from the time of our sojourn here in America. And so that's the thing that in for it to be now just as it is, within in the music and the lyrics and everything, it's like it's just a shame, bro. I'm at a loss of words,
bro. But they do the same thing, right? So right is right and wrong is wrong.
Who does the same thing? Who?
Everybody.
Yeah. So when you talk about Woodstock,
they don't pay the same price.
Exactly. So when you talking about we acting savage and stuff together, they don't do nothing. They do the same thing.
Hold on, no, I don't agree with that.
I was about to say,
you
I
think Woodstock and white, or say rock crowds, are as sexually raunchy and explicit as hip hop crowds and artists?
No. Yeah, I think rock.
Where?
I think.
But I don't know.
Give me the example. Give me the example.
I ain't been to the show.
But I'm saying, give me an example.
Just look at an artist. Just take the top artists.
That's what I was about to say. Give me an artist. Give me an artist, a Caucasian artist, pop artist, whatever, or even a Caucasian hip hop artist that gets that
sexually charged.
Yes, that raunchy and that uncivilized.
You ain't gonna find none, bro.
You mean these rock and roll dudes, Mick Jagger and all these dudes? You talking about? You act like they off.
But you don't hear any.
Well, we just not in that loop. That's not what we listen to. We don't know those artists.
No, bro. I'm talking about, even just take Mick Jagger and them out. When we was watching Mick Jagger and then when we growing up, they didn't have their titties and ass out and all of that stuff. Yeah. We was watching our people.
Yeah.
That's what we was watching.
Right.
Who had the songs that said, "Fat girl, take them Daisy Dukes off," and who got all? That's us.
Yeah.
They don't even. We all agree that they have used the music to paralyze the community. So we know all that.
Absolutely.
So to say, our stuff is more raunchy is not a leap. You know what I'm saying? To me, because rock, they won't even allow. Now is more so. But you don't bubble up as a rock star because you explicit and raunchy and talk bad about your people. But that's the formula in hip hop.
But I think we gotta have it's two separate conversations really. Because when you talk about what gets marketed and sold and presented as us, I think that's what John's saying is they got the same stuff going on, but they're not marketed and sold the way our culture is marketed and sold in that environment.
You say the same thing going on with the music?
No.
Oh, you just talking about culturally?
Yeah, like just people in general. Some people do, all people do the same stuff. However, the worst of us gets put in music and movies and entertainment.
I'm gonna remind you of something you told me though, because it makes your point. I'm gonna remind you of something you told me once. You were saying that there was a cop in Richmond or something that was telling you, I think it was you that told me this, that white folks do selling as much coke and everything else in black, but they not shooting and killing each other over. so they not getting arrested. That's the point I'm making.
Or it's not in the
With their
public.
raunchiness is not at a level where it bubbles up and causes problems in their culture and in their community where they feel that it's destroying the fabric to the point and such the face of the community as it is in ours that it's not that much of a problem to it. So beyond the marketing,
Right.
to me, it's
Well,
like,
if the music is 100% right, and we got certain percentages of blues, certain hip hop, certain R&B, certain gospel, it seems like 75% is raunchy, the marketing to us, right? Versus the rock and roll hip hop, they have raunchy, but it's maybe 15%. You know what I'm saying? So it's a much, it's not as marketed as much. You know what I mean?
I don't think white folk got no appetite for the raunchiness that we do.
But one thing about our
I
music
know, I believe
also,
they probably do, and,
No.
and even more so. However, it's kept. It's
Is
not
it
made.
appetite or
It's
what-
not made public,
what
if you will.
17 to 25 year
Because that's who we learned it from. No.
white female artists do you see looking like Sexy Red, Glorilla, Megan Thee Stallion,
Right.
the girl Cardi, I got my sons at Brave, all these girls that will have a thong on the stage.
Right.
You show me the white artist that's equivalent to
Oh
that.
no, sir.
That's
Yeah,
getting
not
marketed
gonna find it. No.
and put up on the Emmy and Grammy stage.
Right. Right. I agree.
It's a non-discussion to me about the how raunchy we've gotten. Now, are all humans raunchy? Yes.
So what came first, the chicken or the egg?
If you talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson, neither
Yeah.
one.
No. Look.
What-
It was a different type of creature that created the first chicken. So it won't mean the same thing.
I would say.
the chicken came first.
But all right. But
How did the chicken come first?
But back to
we can't do that right there, Q.
I'm being biblical. They always say that Noah had an ark and he put two, and so they ain't say nothing about 2 eggs.
Right. But God said he made man and woman in his image and after his likeness, and both of them are parts of him. Twin halves of the same essence, so he has both.
But
I mean, look, we wanna-
that's
we wanna-
that's
This is
human.
This is
That's
not the
human.
discussion.
And
Yes,
it said we had dominion over the fowls of the earth.
Yeah.
And so
I would
easy to
submit
say.
to you. I would submit to you
The chicken, right?
that our music, the music that was marketed
say
and
the egg.
distributed to our
Right.
culture has brought about the behavior. That's what I would submit to you.
Okay.
That what now?
The-
Run
the-
that back.
the-
Run that back.
the
Or
music-
contributed to it.
The music
Yeah.
that has marketed and that's been marketed and distributed to our community has brought about this behavior. You know,
You're saying
and
at present.
yeah, all the way
It's
back.
encouraged. It's
Yeah.
like junk food.
But-
Junk food for
Yeah.
your spirit.
All right. Well, back up real quick from what
You know
you
what I mean?
what
Like
he
when
was.
you look at just good example, all the Americans being obese.
Yeah.
You know, you go back and look at a video in 1940, 50, you don't see Americans looking like that.
Right.
What happened? It's the food. They didn't start making that food because we was eating it all. That food was made and produced these sizes that you see in America. So that's what I'm saying. That music was made and produced, and it has produced what you see.
Mhm.
So it has that music sent our men to prison in the 80s and 90s, and that music is now horrifying our young women.
Mm-hmm.
The Boys to Men podcast, or B2M podcast, is about 5 guys who've been friends for over 40 years. Between the 5 of us, we've been married for over 100 combined years. Between the 5 of us, we have 13 children, 12 sons. We discuss in our podcast about our journeys into fatherhood and how we raised our sons to be fine young men. From 6-figure earners at LinkedIn to a professional Call of Duty player, college educated entrepreneurs, that's who we are. Our podcast is not a how to do it podcast. It is a podcast about how we did it. Come check us out.
So
Simple
you
as
saying
that.
trap music is a trap? A trap for prison,
A real
trap
trap.
for violence, a trap
Uh-oh.
for
Yeah.
Come on.
being broke, a trap for breaking up families.
Yeah, and you cannot deny listen, if you think gospel music has the influence on your spirit that it does, and we know it does, how come that other music ain't corrupting your spirit? It's the
on
same thing.
Right,
Teach
right,
on
right,
it.
right, right.
It's the same
Let's
thing.
talk about what the genre's called. What's a trap?
Right.
It's a crack
house.
Crack house.
Nita. Oh, okay.
It's a drug house.
Right.
That's what the genre's called that we accept. So are we yeah, we raunchy. If you accept that, you accept the music that your child is consuming being named after a drug house.
Right.
And you rocking with it too. That's the difference with us too. Them white teenagers might be out there being raunchy and all that, but they mamas ain't in the club doing it too.
See, so that
I take
that-
the heat from this and from our sister,
yeah,
but that's what's
yeah.
going on. And sometimes grandma. And so what's the other music?
See, but so that's
Something drill.
facts.
Hold on. Drill music.
Drill, yeah.
You know what a drill is? A drill is when they get in the car with guns, they running a drill to go kill people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what the
A
genre
whole
called.
genre's named after.
Yes.
Yeah. Crazy.
Who's sitting at the top to say, yeah,
That's
on
okay.
Billboard,
Do that.
sign off on that
Yeah.
language.
Right,
That's the issue.
Yeah.
That's the real issue. But because, and you talked about this in one of our other shows, because of the decay of our educational system,
Mhm.
they're able to pump that to us and we
Right.
accept it.
Yeah.
That's why we accept it.
Right.
Because
right.
our educational system has failed in many communities, and now we accept drill, we accept trap, we accept the raunchiness, we accept the violence because the decay of our educational system. That's just a fact.
I got a bar right here. I got a bar.
Uh-oh.
Hope it's good.
Freaknik has become a metaphor for the decadence that has occurred in the black community.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Completely unintentional though.
Yeah.
It didn't start out.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Right.
the purpose.
That
No,
wasn't the mission.
not at all.
Purpose, yeah.
Not at all.
Now, the real lesson, that's the question. Like, we having this conversation about this because ultimately it's about what kind of conversations did we have with our boys in relation to this? Because I'm
Mhm.
sure all of us got a comment or two from our sons about this,
Yeah.
you know, and what did we tell them? You know, what did we share? What lessons? You know, I was telling my wife the other day that if I had a daughter and I don't have one, I said she would know everything she need to know not to be tricked and manipulated by a man.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna say she not gonna do whatever, but
she'd at
I'm
least
gonna
know.
reveal to her
How
all the
you
tricks
gonna teach you that?
by telling her that.
You know
Same
the
way I
tricks?
teach my son. I heard about him.
Oh.
Good one.
He know
Good
what
one.
didn't work. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like straight up, you know? And so how did we, like, I thought about Freaknik when I gave, y'all know I talked about the 5 rules I gave my boys.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, one of those rules was don't rape nobody.
Yeah.
And that seems like it's not even something you would need to say.
Right.
But because I was at Freaknik, because I was in environments like that, whether Greek Fest or wherever, I know how you can accidentally stumble upon, be in an environment and see some things going on, and all of a sudden you are a contributor to that environment, and now you become an accessory to a crime.
And the
Yeah.
definition of
Yeah.
rape may be broader than you think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nowadays,
That,
for sure.
So like one of those rules I gave my sons is directly connected to those environments that we have experienced as older men. And so I'm giving them this advice as a 42 or 52-year-old man, but I'm talking about and trying to convey to them what a 22-year-old mind will think and see.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you got to be prepared. You know, all of these lessons that we trying to share, it's really to reduce the learning curve,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and shrink down the learning time that it takes to, you know, gain this knowledge that it
Have some
took us
sense.
50-something years to
Yeah.
get. We can put it in them.
But
and
get
they
back on the
22,
daughter thing,
32.
'cause you started with that being really important. You started with saying, if I had a daughter.
Yeah, because it's about being open, honest, transparent. And one of the things that I'm sick of parents doing is acting like they ain't never been 19. Acting like you don't know. You got to talk to your kids and explain to them what's really going on out there. Let them know. Be honest and transparent. I ain't saying tell your kids all your business because that's inappropriate. But you got to have an honest conversation with them about the traps and pitfalls that really exist, man. Some of these parents sending their kids into the lion's den because they think they're protecting them. And they're not protecting them at all.
Sending them into the lion's den and thinking you protecting them is crazy.
That's right. That's what they doing.
Yeah.
And then looking around like, oh, what happened to, little Lucy? No, man, come on. We got to do a better job of being open, honest, and remembering where we came from. And because so many times when we give this information to our young people, we give it in a condemning fashion. So as a result of you giving that information condemningly, now they're not open to you. They're not receptive. Mom, dad think they know everything. They act like they ain't never done nothing. And now your kid's not open to it because what? Now you're looking like a hypocrite.
So how much do you tell your kids what you did do and that you regret?
I can tell my son a story and it be all about me, but I don't have to say it was me.
Oh,
okay. It ain't no different than when grandma was cooking and she ain't tell you what she put in the pot, then you better eat it.
Go
That's
ahead.
why she told you get on out the kitchen.
Black man.
Don't come in this kitchen, boy. Get out of here. She don't want you to see what she done put in the pot.
Hey,
you just take it.
I got a response to that too. But the first thing I'm gonna say is I was just listening to this speech Minister Farragut at North Carolina A&T. One of the first ones. We checked it out back in the days. It was the first one at A&T we all heard, I think. I don't know if y'all remember, but he was talking about.
You remember the title?
It was a stop the killing thing.
I remember.
But he was talking about music and his career. But he said that's why don't nobody like preachers. Because preachers try to make everybody feel guilty. He said that's because everybody is guilty, including the preacher.
So
I'm saying that to say that's not about preachers, everybody. That's about human beings and why. If we all agree, and I've said it a few times, if we all agree that they're not our children, and we say that they're God's children, and that God just used us to bring them here, then why are we trying to put ourselves up in their eyes some type of holy, sanctified being that we don't want them to know got shit that stink? For what? So the answer to me on how much of my business I tell my sons, how much of it I need to teach them a truth that I need to teach them. So if it requires me to show more of myself in order to get this valuable truth through to them, because the story might not do it in this case, and I'm giving up I'm giving up my wickedness. You can see it.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna tell you, first of all, I ain't got that issue, because I've been telling you from day one that I've been wrong and I ain't right and been perfect. But God is evolving me and He gonna evolve you. So we gonna talk truth in this house, because that's what the problem is that you learn in the mosque is that we feed our children too much fairy tale.
Right.
We got them think that the bunny talking, the Easter bunny talking, and Santa Claus, the elves, and all of these fictional realities, and that all of these cartoon characters can do human things, but we won't tell them the truth.
Right.
They too young to learn the truth though, but they old enough to watch a fictional character create a whole new world of evil in it, and you ain't even watching it, and they showing how they destroy. It's so much going on that we don't get. But my point is, tell them the truth. If you and we were taught in the mosque, if you feed your baby on truth, they'll grow up to be a master of the truth. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So
come on
they
now.
can handle it. Just tell them the truth.
I think it's all age appropriate.
Yeah.
Age and maturity appropriate to each, because every child is different, right? And sometimes it'll be something that they run into. All right, now I can share this with them. Now I can share that with them. The other thing too, what I told all my boys, when you go to school, especially when they went to college, but probably even before that, when you out here, you're gonna see some ladies being disrespected. You're gonna see some ladies that you think they empowered, right? They really disrespecting themselves. So now you have to be a leader just because they disrespect themselves don't give you permission to disrespect them.
Right.
What you mean that? Well, just because she got everything showing and somebody, that don't give you permission to touch her. That don't give you permission to be rude or disrespectful to her. If this guy, that guy doing that, does not give you permission to do that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Groupthink, no groupthink when it comes to protecting the value of women.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't you participate in that, right? And you show her respect even when she don't. Don't be messing with no drunk girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If she drunk,
Yeah.
if she got to be drunk to be with you, you don't need to be with her. Let it go. Stuff like that. And I try to
Good
let
advice.
them know that up front.
Talik,
Good
what would you
advice.
tell a daughter if you had a daughter, being that you live in Atlanta during that time and you saw all of this come and go, you know, from the time you were there? What, like, if you were raising your daughter during that time, like, what would be important for you based on what you saw
What age?
to teach your
No,
daughter?
not like that. Nah, it don't matter what
yeah.
age. I would
College
just,
age, she in college.
you know, we would look at, let's just say the news showing a flash, and I would ask her, you know, what do you think about that? I want to see what we've taught her over the years and see if she can regurgitate and use some wisdom. And so that's what my approach would be. And what I would then say is if I you know, and based on whatever she tells me, then I will elaborate and add to, you know, those type of situations if you're in these particular environments. And just make sure that if you ever in these positions, I would probably give her some tools how to try to get out of these sketchy or uncomfortable positions,
or know how not to be in it.
Absolutely.
This might have been a good show. Like we talked about, we're gonna start bringing some guests. I would love to find out from a sister what their thoughts are from sisters on why the psychology of a young college woman making themselves available. Not the ones that went out there just to have fun, pure college fun, but the ones that were open to the sexual liberal stuff or whatever. What is the psychology that made that an attraction to them? Because that's what we need to talk about with our girls right now. Like, what is it now what is it that's they're placing value over their safety and all of this for these experiences?
Bro,
I would
easy
say
to me. All right, you go ahead and answer.
I would say as a 50-year-old man, you talk to, you know, people over the years, and a lot of times when you hear these young ladies, they always display that they didn't have a father figure in their life, and how much they think having a father figure in their life would been able to shape and mold a lot of their decisions they made. And so I would add a huge percentage of a father figure or male role model or older brother, etc. Someone who, you know, because a lot of times when you in that household and you got you know, if you got a brother that's older or around the same age as you, you know, you're gonna learn a lot from him.
Your dirty uncle. Not that he dirty to your daughter, but like he at home and she can deal with uncle. Uncle gonna show him the ropes. Say things that you can't say or don't say.
Sometimes, but like sometimes, and if the uncle, she might be like, I'm crazy and just kind of brush him off. But if she's seen brother or father, then she might have a different point of view. But uncle, that's easy to kind of brush off because people got uncles all the time. They laugh and giggle at them, but they don't take they don't take the real truth. And the uncle dropping gems on them and showing them that negative and rugged side, but you may not put that on the same level as if you seen your brother, how he treated his girlfriends, or if you seen your dad, how he treated your mother, or seeing these relationships. So the uncle, to me, might be a little, it won't hold as much value as if the brother or the father.
Oh yeah, that's part of the equation.
Right.
That's not the whole thing.
Now I'm saying there's a lot of uncles that that you can learn from. But that crazy wild one,
Your uncle's a
You-
mixed bag.
Yeah.
you don't know what. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
He
for
gonna
sure.
save you or kill you. What?
That was
Whoa.
my point.
It's gonna toughen you up, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I was.
Either way, you gonna learn
Yeah,
something.
But going back to what you was talking about when we was disagreeing about the music and stuff like that, right? Especially at PWIs, a white girl can go sleep with 30 guys or whatever in their time period, and that be she just finding herself. That's just her college experience. She gonna get married, this and that, the other.
No, John, they would say she's a slut, bro.
Really? Not these days, bro. But a sister,
The
date
blacks would
3
call her a
guys,
hoe.
and they be like, man, she
Skank.
mess with boom, 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 and she's looked at differently. That's what I'm saying. They can move around like that and not be a judge as harshly as we are. But then, like you say, that music and the twerking and the sexuality is marketed so strongly to us.
I think the judgment on the harshness of I can make a distinction between our disagreement about the impact of the music versus you talking about just normal social stuff that all people doing regardless of color that gets purported, right? All right. In that way, though, I think again it goes back to the price people paying because we're in such a bad condition.
Yeah.
The price we pay is more, so people talk about it more.
We got less margin.
You
for
know what
error.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's more apparent and evident in and there's so many more parts of our community that's already hurting.
Yeah.
That's another symptom of it. You know what I'm saying? So
Man, to get back to your original question, what makes them vulnerable to it? I think it's just like any other thing that you're vulnerable to. Oftentimes, young women are looking for attention and validation.
I was thinking the same thing.
That's really the bottom line:
Yeah.
attention and validation.
Which goes back to his point.
Yeah, exactly.
father.
And they didn't get it from a figure
Yeah.
that was crucial.
So I need it from a
'Cause
man, though.
sometimes the figure you need it from.
Do you?
Huh?
Some people say they don't need a man.
Well,
That's you know when they
let me say
that?
this. Let me just
You
say
know when
this.
they, you know when they.
Let
I'm
me
gonna
just
let
say
you
this.
say it.
I'm
Y'all
gonna just say
about to get in
this.
trouble.
I'm gonna just say this. Real simple. Anybody that say they don't need no man, or the kids don't need no female, or don't need no, but I got both, I can do both. You're only telling me you have no idea what it takes.
Right.
That's what you're telling me. If you think that I can do this, now the jobs are always done by individuals, and the individuals do a remarkable job. But there's some things that the man brings, that the woman brings, that the other person cannot bring.
Exactly.
And so if you think it can be done without one or the other, you're just telling me you have no idea what it takes. And so I put that in that category. When I hear people say that, I know, don't even listen to them no more. Don't even listen to them no
You
more.
don't know what it takes.
Because they don't have no idea what it takes.
Yeah.
You know, because anybody that thinks that tells me they don't know the value that the man or the mother brings.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And then on another level, the other thing you telling me is that you think you smarter than the creator of the heavens and the earth.
Come on, brother.
That deposited things in each one of us to complement one another to raise what he created. So if you smarter than him, I know I'm not gonna listen to you.
That's why I said don't talk to him
Yeah.
no more. Don't talk to him no more. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
But
that's
chill,
it.
chill on the part of what you were saying, that you would say to your daughter or what have you. The only thing I was gonna ask of that is, do you feel you need? Because I believe I would need to then say, when you said, "What do you think about this?" or what have you, right? Add to that, honestly, what do you think? You know what I mean? Because in some cases, children, whether male or female, let me just tell you what they think you want to hear.
But wait,
So
Well, when
uh-huh.
you
he's thinking because of the relationship he got, the word honestly ain't even
doesn't
necessary.
necessarily right.
but
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm gonna be able to tell by what come out of their mouth if they feed me some fluff.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Because,
no,
I'ma have that relationship.
I tend to think that is important and necessary, regardless as to how well you think a job you've done throughout the years until they get to a certain point in stage, that they can fool you. They can damn fool you, and they will surprise you with pulling a 180. So I think it's necessary that for them to be reminded that, hey, you can come honestly, you can, seriously, honestly, or whatever the case, however you feel you need to preface that to get the response, a genuine and authentic response.
And I hear what you're saying, but if they come and feed me some bull crap, right, and they sold me on it, then at least they know. They just need to apply.
I think,
enough to
but look,
hustle
but
you,
but
right?
I think y'all are saying, y'all not saying different things. I think
Yeah.
James is just saying
To add that
when you
caution on
start,
that.
it
Right.
might be good to let them know that in this moment you really can be comfortable. I know you, even if you
That's your
always
point.
do.
Right.
I'm letting you know because of the situation.
I wanted to
You
argue
really
with
do
him.
have me, bro. No,
I wanted to argue
got you.
with
My fault.
him. I wanted to.
My fault.
Nah.
Yeah.
Clarify that.
Nah.
Because
Hey,
for
because
sure.
I'm
Nah,
telling you,
that's
they
good.
do that, bro.
No, that's
These
good, though.
children do that, and that's what I'm
For
trying
sure.
to present to our audience to let them know and be reminded not to be fooled, because we've all experienced that even in school at certain points where you think, oh you thinking and my child wouldn't do that, and wouldn't be doing on the damn. They different little creatures when they around peer pressure and this, that, and the third, or whatever else too.
We gotta, that's back to our ego again, man, because we crazy as parents. Yeah, your child got some trifling in him.
Right.
Yes.
For us to think that they don't.
I already know you a liar. No, I'm just. I know you a liar. You was lying when you was 3. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So
No, that's but that's real though.
yeah.
I tell you a funny story. And Darius always say, "Man, y'all be killing me on that podcast." Well, I'm gonna kill you one more time. Darius was like 12 years old, and he was he got picked up by the police and was at the police station. He 12.
Mm-hmm.
Really, Darius?
And and he calls, and and the officers like say whatever he say to Tracy, and then he gives Darius the phone, and when Darius takes the phone, I hear Tracy say, "Oh my God, Darius, what did you do?" Just like that, right? And I immediately said, whoa. Don't ask him that question while he in the police station.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he might have done it.
Yeah.
So I'm setting the precedent right now that we don't ever operate under the premise that, oh, not my son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was
right.
a moment.
That's good.
That was a moment where that happened. But my wife green, you know what I mean? She don't understand how that stuff works.
Right.
You know what I mean? Little boy, he 12 years old. I know what I was doing when I was 12.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, whoa, don't ask him that question on the
cases
phone.
at that time, baby.
Yeah, while he was in the police station.
Right.
You know?
Incriminate the boy.
Because he just might have done it.
Yeah.
All right, so, we'll figure out how to navigate
So are you
this.
protecting him?
Yes, I am protecting him.
Absolutely.
Is
I'm
that what we're
protecting him.
supposed to do?
But here's what, don't mistake my protecting him for protecting him over a set of principles and values.
Not holding him accountable.
That's right. We're not going to protect him and not hold him accountable. I always told both fellas, whatever you do, make sure you're willing to pay the price.
Okay.
Right.
That means doing an analysis and knowing what the price is before you do it. If you tell me you're willing to pay the price, let's rock.
But that don't mean also if you do it, that I'm not going to tell you the best way to deal with your present situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
But look, you said, what was the thing you said? You said, the statement you said about it, you were like, it was a quote, but you were making a point that with him in that situation, you said, don't do that, right?
Yeah.
He might have did it.
Yeah.
Right? When we talking about this contact with Freaknik, we started off with Freaknik.
Yeah.
And we ended up in a reasonable place because we're talking about how it ultimately, the mentality of those that went, everybody wanted some attention and some action, right? And we talked about the influences that made it acceptable to people to do things that they might think were morally or ethically wrong. But parents, make no mistake about it, to help our sons and our daughters now, we need to tell them the truth about some of the stuff we've experienced and seen, and stop having the mentality that we think he might not have done it or she might not have done it.
Right.
Yes, it's your son that might go up in that club and do something wrong to a girl. Yes, it's your daughter that might open herself up to a group of men. And if you don't talk to them about it and us parents aren't teaching them, then nobody else, and we can't be surprised when they end up on the video.
Right.
And that's the message that we got to keep.
And regarding that video, when we talk about ain't nothing new under the sun, right? I give the example when we came up, when the Rodney King video came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was nationwide, worldwide. But we knew that wasn't the first time the police beat up somebody, right?
Right.
It was a technology that showed that it got caught on camera. So when Freaknik, a lot of that was going on. We didn't have camera phones, right? That was the first time we had handheld cameras like that. Well, some people had them, right? And so now this is everywhere, right? And when we talked about Black Panthers back in the days, right? Or, with your family, uncles and all this. Back in the days, we were saying, hey, watch what you say. I don't want them folks listening to us, right? Now we invite them into our house, right? Alexa, what's the temperature? Alexa, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is everywhere we go. So I'm saying everything is captured. There's nothing left to the imagination. And that's the difference today, right? Because everything, what we did ain't on tape.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they're intentionally capturing it. And that is just...
Your character's who you are when
no one's watching.
But guess what? Everybody's watching now. So display the best of your character. Avoid all the freaknik, wild behavior. Be conservative. Have your fun in good spots. It's the B2M crew. We're at the Cole building in Charlottesville, Virginia. Wonderful co-working
Center
facility.
of Developing
and
Entrepreneurs.
Partners with us out here as we chopping it up to reclaim the village. Fellas, Joaquin, you got something to take us out with?
Yes, sir. In the words of the great Frederick Douglass, it is easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men. Peace.
We out of here.
And I won't stop until I'm winning. I'ma show them how true and independent get it. Whole game changed by the time I finish with it. We about to get this business handled in a minute. And I won't stop until I'm winning. They don't want me in the office 'cause I